unusually for this stage in The Simpsons, Papa's Got a Brand New Badge is the 22nd episode of the 13th season of The Simpsons. I actually don't like this episode very much, and it's rated quite highly on IMDb. It's got 7.8 out of 10, which for this point is a pretty good rating. Usually I'm rating these episodes quite highly, and the average rating's much lower. So it's quite interesting that I didn't love this, whereas it seems a lot of people do. But I feel like the pacing of the episode wasn't very good. There were a few bits here and there that I thought were okay, and there was one bit that actually I quite liked. Now I might discuss that with a spoiler warning because it happens right at the end. But generally I didn't think very much of it. The first half of the episode is about a heat wave that seems to no longer exist after the second half of the episode kicks in. And there's a blackout. The reason the blackout happens, or the reason it seems to happen, I have to say was pretty good. And I rather like that something Homer did just before the blackout. That bit I thought was good. And when there's a blackout, people start robbing stores and stealing things. And something is stolen from the Simpsons house. I won't say what it is. But I will say, how were they not aware of this? Like, how did they just, I don't understand how it happened without them realizing, but it triggered Homer to start a police-type force. And there are several of his friends who join in, and it's all about him being law enforcement, which, yeah, I think actually suits him really well, even though Homer has many times broken the law in multiple episodes. But I actually think it worked quite well. I did love the interaction between Wiggum and Ralph when Ralph asked his father why he wasn't at work and his father asks him why he wasn't at school. What Ralph replied with, I have to say, amused me. So there were definitely small nuggets in this that I liked, individual lines or little bits of animation. For example, in the hat shop there is a pretty great hat. I can't really say, I don't want to spoil it by telling you what hat it is, but it's a very famous, iconic cartoon hat, and that was in that shop. So, absolutely, there were things that I think worked well, but I feel like the narrative just lacked something. It didn't really offer me very much, and I didn't really care for it. So, as a whole, it wasn't great, but there were snippets here and there that I didn't mind. So, I don't love it, but it's not one of those episodes where I wouldn't watch it again. There is enough in it that I would watch it again, but it's never going to be one where if I go, oh, I'm in the mood for The Simpsons, which episode will I watch? I'm not going to choose Papa's Got a Brand New Badge. That aside, it's okay. And the bit that I was going to mention, so a spoiler from now, this is the last point I have to say, I think, and the bit that actually made me kind of smile, spoiler as I said, was when they revealed who had done the shooting. I saw it coming once they realised who it wasn't, and I just, yeah, it amused me, because I think that worked very well, because I love that they're just aware of how ridiculous the Who Shot Mr. Burns episode was. Or at least, you know, the episode's fantastic, but the reveal was just horrendous. So I like that they occasionally refer back to that as a kind of mockery, which just appeals to me. So yeah, not my favourite episode, but certainly a lot of small things in it that altogether made it relatively watchable.